Hi there. This is just a short video to show you how to use BibTeX to add referencing and citations and reference lists to LaTeX documents. So this is requested by my honors student too, so you can have him to thank. Basically the idea is that instead of manually creating references, in-text references and reference lists, you use this software called BibTeX and you hand it a file called a .bib file, and it contains all information about the specific kind of articles and books that you want to cite in your work, and there's a format for them, structured format, including everything that the reference list needs to know, like the journal, the year, the authors, and so on. And then you give the raw information to BibTeX in this file, and then inside your LaTeX document, all you have to do is bring in a package called natbib or something similar to that. There are a few options there. I'll just be using natbib. And then when you want to cite something, you say, considering the work of, and then \cite, and you can start typing to choose a particular paper from the bib file. So let's say something from Hawkes 1971, considering the work of that. We can see, and then when you compile that, here I'm just using Overleaf's website to show you how this all works. It all works if you are using LaTeX locally. Now, once we've compiled that, we can see that BibTeX is added in the in-text reference in the exact format that we've told it to. And if we've never cited this work before, then BibTeX will also go and add it to the reference list at the end here. So here I can see there's actually an error in that one. Hawkes 1971. So I'm not sure how I managed to get that, but here, see how there's a B? Maybe I'll just get rid of that now while we're here. So if I change this .bib file, if we recompile, sometimes BibTeX is a little bit finicky if things change, so you might have to go recompile from scratch. So let's see if that fixes that up. Okay, so that's ready to go. Now I'll quickly show you how you could add new references. Now there's the lazy way and the proper way. The lazy way is to use Google Scholar. So if I want to add in Hawkes wrote a financial review recently, so I want to find the paper here in Google Scholar, and then there's a cite button underneath it. If we click that, it gives us the option to get the BibTeX information directly. And then we have all this information, we can just copy it directly into our bib file. And we can put it pretty much anywhere. I like to keep these alphabetical, so I'll put it just here. And now we've got a way to reference this new article, which is this label here. We could call this anything, sharks evil or whatever, but of course the one that's automatically generated by Google Scholar is pretty good actually. The name of the first author, the year, the first word of the paper title, and then once we've added it to the bib file, we can actually use that. We are different to the review of cite Hawkes 2018. Recompile. And now that new reference, in-text reference, has been added, as well as the new entry in the reference list. So that's the simple way of adding new things in here. That way you don't have to manually copy across all this information, which is a bit tedious. Now, be careful doing this though. Google Scholar is using some kind of computer program to scrape this information, and many of the times it's actually giving you the wrong information here. So it's quite important to check this. Use this as a initial check, but really what you should be doing is going to your library subscription, searching for that specific work, and finding its website. And then check all the information directly from the publisher. If you're lucky, you'll have a section that tells you how to cite this article. And if you're very lucky, it will have its own BibTeX ready to download. In which case, that's usually the safest way to import BibTeX. But sometimes the publishers or even Google Scholar throw in a bunch of fields that are kind of useless, to be honest. So you don't need to keep all these kind of fields if you don't think they're relevant. Okay, so I would cross-reference this information with what's in the BibTeX file. Now, the only other thing to mention is that to get this working set up on Overleaf, you'll need to have your BibTeX file ready. You'll need to add the natbib or similar package to the header of your LaTeX, and then at the bottom you need to put these two lines. So one of them is saying what style do you want the reference list to be, and there are built-in ones for all the common styles, but here I'm actually putting the name of a file. This is a kind of a special case because the journal that I'm submitting to, they have specified that a very unique bibliography style, and they've even given me this .bst bibliography style file to use directly. So I have to upload that manually, and then in the main.tex I can say that's the style I want to use, and then that specifies that we have authors first, and then a full stop, and then the year, and then another full stop, and so on. It specifies that kind of information. The other thing is we need to link the bib files to the main document, and here I'm actually using multiple bib files. That is a very rare case. This is probably the first time I've needed to do this. Most of the time you just have one .bib file and you just put that in here. But you can, one good thing is that these files, you can build them up over time. If you have related projects, you can start with a bib file and then keep adding to it over time. So you don't need to repeat this work for every different paper. One last final point, the titles in the reference list will be in lowercase by default, and that is kind of frustrating. For many times things just really can't be lowercase. So acronyms here, EM algorithm, or proper nouns like Hawks, Monte Carlo, Markov chain. For these things, you have to go into the bib file and actually put extra braces around the letters in the title that have to be in capital letters. Otherwise, you'll get these reference lists with everything lowercase that would look very unprofessional. And I see this quite a lot for people who are new to BibTeX. Their references, it's kind of obvious. Even here, I probably should be adding uppercase to the journal names as well. I just haven't gotten around to that yet. Okay, so hopefully that covers the basics of BibTeX. It's really quite a wonderful system where you don't need to think about the specific formatting styles, and it lets you do quite a lot of interesting stuff. It doesn't have to be the basic citations either. You can have parenthetical citations or cite just the year and so on. But I'll leave all those advanced things for you to discover on your own. Hope that was useful.